It stinks. It absolutely smells of pee. I'm just going to start mixing that in. Swipe that over the whole stencil. Lift that up, put it to one side, leaving our design. Right, we are back with another epic resin art experiment. And if this one works, I'm telling you now, this is going to blow up. 100%. So many of you will remember a while back we did a technique using baby lotion. Some used hand cream, and what we did is we swiped it over a stencil in our mold, removed the stencil, which left the baby lotion, and then poured on our resin. The trouble with that technique, I mean, it is really epic in itself, is that you couldn't color the baby lotion because it wouldn't transfer, and baby lotion remains wet, doesn't cure or dry. So I think I was lying in bed last night and I had an idea, and we're going to be using liquid latex. This is, I think it's a UK brand, I'm not sure, but I'll pop the link in the description. I might have to find an alternative brand for the US. I don't know. Trouble is with liquid latex, it's very, very watery, which led me on to thinking, I mean, I couldn't pour that over a stencil and swipe it and remove it. It would just run everywhere. It's a really low viscosity liquid latex. So we need a thickening agent. I'm wondering, there's a well-known food thickening agent, and that is corn flour or cornstarch. Have some from a previous experiment. So what I'm hoping to do, similar to other experiments I've done where I've tried to thicken silicone using that stuff, I'm going to try it with the liquid latex. I'm hoping it doesn't hinder, and I'm hoping it dries, and I'm hoping we can then use that to brush on whatever colors we want. If this works, it's going to be incredible. Obviously, when we demold it, I'm going to be doing the latex and stencil onto the mold. When we demold it, in theory, we should be able to peel away the areas of the liquid latex, leaving the color on the resin. I hope this works. Okay, so I'm going to begin. The trouble is I don't know how much I need, but it is an experiment, so just bear in mind there's probably going to be a little bit of waste. And I do apologize if anyone has latex allergies. I'm really sorry. I could find another way, you never know. This is just to see what happens. So as you can see, it stinks. It absolutely smells of pee. It's so strong. The ammonia smell is really, really strong. As you can see, it's very, very watery. Now I'm going to begin adding, I don't know how much. Start with that amount, I suppose. It's not going to be an exact measurement. It's going to depend on the brand of liquid latex. I presume they're all going to be the same viscosity. I'm just going to start mixing that in. Maybe a stirring stick would have been better than a cocktail stick. It's not really doing anything. And like I said, my worry is that it's not going to do its thing. It's not going to cure and dry, but we'll find out. So yeah, I'm just adding enough until in my head it's a similar consistency to the baby lotion that we used, because I know that spread and worked really well with a stencil. So I am just going to keep adding until it's at the right consistency. You can see it's starting to lump up, which is not what I want. I don't want lumps. I don't know if that's setting on the stick. It looks like it could be. But it's still not thick enough. It reminds me of pancake mix. A bit more. And with liquid latex, it can set really, really fast, especially when you put on thin amounts. Oh, it's going lumpy. I'm just going to keep stirring it until those lumps have gone. is I don't want to add any more because those lumps are still breaking up and thickening the latex. If I go adding more, once mixed, it could be too much. It's looking like it's working, but is it going to actually set? And that could still be a little bit too runny. It's starting to squeak, can you hear that? Squeaky. I don't know. It still looks too runny. I'll put a little bit more in. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. And to all my subscribers, thank you very, very much. If you haven't subscribed, it is free. Just hit that sub button. And guys, hit the notification bell so you know as soon as a video goes up, you'll get a notification. And it will tell you there is fresh content. Okay, I think we could be good. I don't know. Never done it before, so I think we're at the right consistency. Let's go. Right, I'm hoping that's central enough. I'm going to do this part with a stick just to make it easier to get out of the pot. I've definitely mixed up way too much. Let's just apply that over and get my swiping tool. A credit card would work. I'm just going to begin to swipe that over the whole stencil. I'm just hoping it doesn't start to set as I'm doing this. It's looking good, but is it going to dry? You can see it looks like it's starting to set on the surface, but not too much. I should be able to work it without any issues. It's definitely like a pancake mix with a very, very horrible smell. I think that would do. Right, now, if I leave that on there, if it does set, it's going to, when I peel the stencil off, it's going to peel off the design. So I'm going to peel it now. There we have it. It's not dead center, but it will do. Any sticky uppy bits, I think there's lumps. I'm just going to try and push those down so we've got a crisper design. But a little bit of texture isn't going to hurt, is it? A little bit of depth. It'll be fine. We can always learn and move forward once we know if it's going to work. There's a little bit there that's gone over the edge. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave that. Hopefully this will dry and I'll be able to peel that off as well. So I'm going to leave that for, I don't know, until it looks dry. So it's been about 10 minutes and I just wanted to show you the kind of that's still in the pot. It's still workable, but thinner areas around the edges are beginning to dry, which is good because it's telling me that it should work. But you can see that still, I mean, I could if I wanted to do another project with that. It's got a good work time. With the stencil, I mean, it's still soft around the edges. I don't want to drop it into the mold, but it is. Look. It is working. So, I mean, this is really easy to clean off. You just pull it and most of it will kind of pull off together. So I'm happy that it's worked on the stencil, which means it's definitely going to be working in this mold. So we can, I'm just wondering, I mean, I could even use the liquid form from the bottle and smooth over, but it's going to be time consuming. But I think that could work. And I think by doing that, it's also going to increase the wait time. But you could, in theory, dome these. But I'm not going to do it for this video. I just want to see if it works. This part is really satisfying. I'm really enjoying this. As a kid, I'll tell you a little secret. I used to steal my sister's face masks. I used to apply it onto my hands, and when it was dry, I used to peel it off. I used to love doing that as a kid. And this reminds me of that. It's really satisfying to do. I thought I'd share that anyway. Right, so it's been about half an hour, and this, it is starting to set. So I'd say, yeah, you've got a bit of working time with it, but yeah, just bear that in mind. So now for the next stage. As I was cleaning off the stencil, I had a thought, because I was originally just going to color the whole lot, then peel away the latex afterwards. But I'm wondering, now the stencil is clear, is it the right way? Yes. What I'm thinking is I can lay that back in place, hopefully. And then I can, if I wanted to, I could color each section different colors if I wanted to. I'm not sure if chameleon flakes would work. My main concern is how easy it could peel away from the mold, and if you're brushing it too hard, it could peel away the latex. So I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with a nail powder and just see really what happens. So I think I'm going to go with a gold trunk, and I'm going to use one of these applicators just so that I'm not rubbing, it too hard. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm just dabbing the gold powder on, and then I think I'm going to change color for the leaves. It's going on really nicely. You can see how well that's sticking. Right, I'm going to speed this bit up. So I went for a few different colours on there. I can now carefully, in case there's any loose powder on the stencil, lift that up, put it to one side, leaving our design. Oh, it looks absolutely amazing. It looks crisp, it looks colourful. Really hope the next stage works. So I was thinking, if you was to do this in reverse, so you put your black layer down, let that cure, then do this effect, you could, in theory, trap this inside the resin and then pour a clear over, giving a 3D style effect design inside the resin. But I'm doing it the other way. I'm going to be seeing if we can remove the latex afterwards, leaving the color on black resin. So I'm just going to mix up some black epoxy with the collab resin. Yeah, just black mica powder, and I'm gonna fill that up, pop it on my curing heat mat, and then we're gonna see what happens. I just noticed there's some latex. See how easy that comes off the mold? That's why I didn't want to brush it. I think dabbing is definitely going to be the safest way. So I'm just trying another one with the theory that I could dome the stencil that we've already put down, and it's actually working really well. So I think by doing this, it's going to give it some more depth. Now, maybe using a precision tip bottle would be quicker, but I'm in no rush. It seems to be sitting. I let the first layer cure, dry, and I'm just adding it drop by drop and working it over the first layer. There is going to be quicker ways of doing this, but it's working and it's giving a really nice smooth finish. So yeah, we're going to have two lots of results. And this is just the liquid. It's not the mixture with the powder flour, just the liquid. So that took about 15-20 minutes to go over, and it does sit really nicely. It's like it only wants to stay on the first layer that's dry. And definitely put quite an amount in the cup so it doesn't start to dry as you're dipping the stick into it, but it really didn't take long at all. I don't know about the drying time though. Then I can just pour what I've got left back in my bottle. Okay, so the first one is cured. It's still a little bit bendy where it's been on the heat mat. So, has it worked? Let's check the mold first. I can see a very, very faint outline. Really hard to show up on camera. But again, if you're not sure, use old molds. Right. Hello. My face looks all distorted, look. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, so we now need to peel away. I'm hoping it comes off. I shouldn't really have committed to a second one until I found out, but I think it will work. In theory, I should just be able to get it going. There it goes. Just peels off. Come on, please don't. I'm hoping it hasn't bonded. I think it's where it's still quite warm. There it goes. Really bringing out that colour as it's going. Okay. I'm gonna let it cool down for a minute and just see if it makes a difference. Okay, so what I'm finding, it's coming off really easy. Let me lock my focus. But if we keep a bit that we've peeled off and then use that on the next bit, it's not going to do it now. It did. It kind of helps pull the next part up. I haven't let it cool down, I've just... There it goes. Come on. What I don't want is any part of it bonding. It doesn't seem to be. It's all coming off. But I don't want to use anything that could scratch the resin. But it's all coming off. It's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to finish this off, and we're going to have two to look at completely finished. So letting it cool down seems to have made a difference. It's definitely coming off a lot easier now than what it was a minute ago. It's just peeling right away. Okay, the second one is now cured, but I think I have my heat mat on full power, and looks like some rather large bubbles have emerged on the back. So I'm thinking, I mean, even when I flip it over, you can see all this area here is like a big bubble. So I think my heat mat was on too high, and some of the silicone might have lifted away through the curing process with the heat. Not silicone, you know what I mean, liquid latex. But with this one, I mixed in some holographic powder with my black to give a really nice background. Mainly because where I coated over the latex with the liquid latex and put the stencil over, when I was brushing my powders and removed the stencil, I made a bit of a mess around some of the leaves. So to hide that, I just put loads of holographic glitter in the black. You can see some bubbles around that. I have the same issue with the other one. I think it is just because my heat mat was on too high. Lesson learned. I need to try it again without the heat mat, but let's peel this off and see if it's any good. But as always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subbed, hit that button for me. It is free, as mentioned before. I mean, I like it. It's a shame about these bubbles. I'd have to spend a bit of time infilling those, which wouldn't take too long. But yeah, I mean, it's worked. We couldn't do that with the baby lotion. I just need to learn to be a little bit more patient and not use a curing mat, I think. Because I can't see any reason why there'd be bubbles, big bubbles around there. Then again, you know what I'm like with mixing epoxy now. I'm pretty careless. But yeah, there are a few bubbles, especially on this one. There's more on this one than what there is on this one, but these ones seem to be bigger. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I love the holographic on this as well. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the little experiment. We've got a step in the right direction, I think. Now need to work out different ways of using this, like on maybe 3D molds. You could paint on the mixture. Just don't use a heat mat. Anyway, I will see you for the next one. Bye for now. And just quickly to show you some of the depth. Sorry, I forgot that part. There is depth there. It's like an etched style. Sorry for the wobble. More on that one. This one's just more noticeable because there's no holographic on there. But yeah, they have got depth. Right, yeah, see you for the next one.